Welcome to the Maine Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main, president of Maine Financial Group, as well as joined by Adam Freund, CRC at Maine Financial Group. To our viewers at home, we know that you all have bucket list items when it comes to your retirement, but how do you do your bucket list items and enjoy your retirement without draining your accounts financially and waking up in a nightmare? We're going to talk a little bit about that on today's show because we love hearing about those bucket list items. So please call in and let us know what yours are. Jordan, how are you today?
I am great. I'm excited about this topic. How are you today?
Fantastic. Also excited about this topic. Thank you for asking. And Adam, how are you?
Well, I'm like a Traverse City cherry, sweet, but full of pits.
Where do you get these?
I just make them up.
P-I-T-S. Pits. Okay, all right.
I love it. Well, let's talk a little bit about bucket lists for fun. Jordan and Adam, anything that you'd like to share about your own personal?
Did you ever see that movie with Morgan Freeman and called The Bucket List and Jack?
It's so
If I
good.
could say Shawshank Redemption, you want to go into jail.
You know, that's a story about where they both get diagnosed with a terminal disease and they decide to go around the world and do they're on the pyramids and they do all over. I just have one bucket list item, and everyone knows that knows me knows it. To play golf at Augusta National. Any viewers out there that are members there, I would love an invite.
Man, he stole my bucket list. That's exactly what mine is too.
Really?
Yeah, I really would love to go play Augusta, which, let's face it, we probably won't be able to ever do that. We never know. But also Pebble Beach, which I know you've played, right?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah, that's another bucket list. I don't necessarily want to go to St. Andrews. I don't know why.
Well, wait a minute. What's your bucket list?
Oh, yeah.
And I've been to St. Andrews. It's beautiful, but it's cold. I didn't play golf, but we just visited on one of our trips. So I have two bucket list items, actually. Number one, I've always wanted to go to the Holy Land. I want to walk the streets where Jesus walked.
Yeah.
Of course, I think that would be amazing. And then I also want to be in an RV, one of those RV people, and see all the national parks. My license plate right now at home says Hug Trees, so that tells you anything.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
really?
love nature, so those two items would be definitely on the bucket
That's
list.
great.
Wow.
But other than that, what are some of the most common bucket list items that you see?
You just mentioned one, RVing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of bucket lists for retirees we see, at least in Metro Detroit, is own a second home in Florida or Arizona. And what I stress to them is maybe go rent for a few, for the term January to March in different locations before you get into buying a property, because now you're stuck with the carrying costs, the insurance and the taxes. Maybe you want to try Arizona, maybe the Gulf Shores, maybe the Carolinas. So that seems to be one of the biggest bucket lists that we see when people come in, is having we call ourselves snowbirds in Michigan, half the year in Michigan and half somewhere else.
We
Makes
also
sense.
see them wanting to get a place up north, if not down in Florida. And I know, Cynthia, you're not from Michigan, but the up north to us is the upper lower part of our peninsula.
Oh, okay.
This part of the hand, of the mitten.
Okay.
And they want a second home up there, and which also can be issues in terms of when you're talking about somebody moving to Florida, and do they claim residence down there, or not moving but having that second home? And there's a lot of.
We get so many of that question because think about it, Cynthia. If you make your permanent residence Florida, you eliminate income tax. Florida doesn't have an income tax.
Okay.
But now that has to become your homestead, your principal residence. So now your Michigan home becomes non-homesteaded. So you save the 4.25% tax in the state of Michigan, but now you're going to pay a much higher property tax. So it's not a clear-cut answer. There has to be an analysis done of each home, each property taxes, homesteaded versus not, the income tax in Michigan versus non-income tax in Florida. But we get that one almost on a weekly basis, that question.
And then you've got also insurance that down in Florida could be a lot more than it is up here.
Well, and you have to make sure that your insurance package covers you in Florida, because there are some carriers that exempt certain states if you're traveling. So all kinds of good stuff there on the bucket list.
I love that. What about starting a business or going back to school? Do you ever hear anything about that? Reinventing your life?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten people that have made entire career shifts. They were a high-powered person from mid-Michigan, and suddenly they're driving a forklift or just something that they want to do different. Or we've had other clients come in and take an entirely different approach. Maybe they worked for the government and now they want to do some private consulting and start a business that way. So there's a lot of things that we have to look at when someone wants to do that shift.
I think that now that we talked about in previous shows about how retirement is so much longer, in pickleball, the biggest sport in the world, people that start off in a job where you work 30 years and out, whether that be a school teacher, a federal employee, even General Motors, Ford and Chrysler, you would have pensions for the hourly workers. Well, now you're in your early 50s, mid 50s, and now you're retired with a pension. Well, you're not ready just to sit on the couch or play shuffleboard. So we're seeing a lot of new careers start in those early 50s, and maybe they go till 70.
Okay.
So it is that your question was spot on. That's a big change, because 20 years ago when I met with clients, that probably wasn't on the docket.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Interesting. Well, how do you fund some of these big ticket items that are on someone's bucket list? What are some strategies? How do you plan financially for those?
The lotto.
Okay, that's perfect. Because that's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee, absolutely.
Awesome.
Guaranteed to lose.
Well, I think it's imperative to have a written plan, a written financial plan, a roadmap, so to speak, of what your retirement will be. How can you make decisions on all these bucket list items if you don't understand what your income is going to be?
That's true.
So I think that's a key. And another part, we talk about the 3 phases in retirement, and I know we mentioned this before, but the first third is what we call our
go-go years.
Go-go years. You've just retired, you're in your honeymoon, you're going to spend more. You're going to do all the things you've never done. And then we get the next third a little slower. We're in a slow go. We're not getting on as many planes. And then the last third is no go. No go. So we need to make sure that we have an income plan that's written that adapts to these 3 phases and allows us to do the bucket list things.
Yeah, you cannot retire without income. I know that sounds so silly to say, but you cannot retire without income.
Very, very true.
What are you going to do?
I agree. And another thing you can't retire without is the RIPT report. Jordan, talk about what's inside the RIPT report.
Yes, our offer for everyone watching today is to come in or call or click the QR screen and come in for 2 meetings out of your life to get your free customized, what we call a RIPT report, R-I-P-T. The first one is make sure that you are taking the right amount of risk in your portfolio. I use the analogy of driving a car. How fast or how slow are you driving in your portfolio? Is it fit your tolerance? What's next? The I is an income plan. Do you have an income plan or is it an income guess? And then what is the maximum amount you think you can get out of your portfolio and income? We'll tell you. The P is a portfolio review. Make sure that portfolio is healthy, stress tested, put it on the treadmill. Make sure you're investing in good quality items. And then the T is my favorite, Uncle Sam, the taxes. Do you have a tax plan and is it starting now? That's the RIP report.
I love it. Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much as always. To the viewers at home, it's your opportunity to get ripped. That number to call in is 888-462-7839, 888-462-7839. If you're rushing out the door, we've made it even simpler. Grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That'll take you right to the landing page of Main Financial Group, and you can schedule your time accordingly with Jordan and the team. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We're going to talk more in depth about this is your bucket list. What happens should you be planning for savings, investments, maybe other streams of income? Stay tuned.
I started out actually going to college and I was going to be a music teacher. I realized very early on, like at the end of my first semester, that it just was not for me. Fast forward many years later, my parents are educators. My dad quit being a teacher and became a real estate and commercial real estate. And after I graduated college, I decided I would go and work for him. And what I really liked was helping people make money. And I realized that that was more my calling than actually selling real estate. So I ended up getting into
the financial advising world. It was a big jump, but it was the fact that I was going to be helping people rather than selling people, and that makes a huge difference in my mind. I have enjoyed it tremendously. When you can tell a client, hey, guess what? You can retire. It's one of the best days of my life right there. It's not about my goals. It's not about my office's goals. It's about their goals. It's their money. We need to educate them in order for them to continue to live in a manner of which they become accustomed. Selling is terrible. Educating, getting people to understand why we need to do it this way and consult with them, that's the way to do it.
Welcome back to the Maine Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main, president of Maine Financial Group, as well as Adam Freund, CRC at Maine Financial Group. We're talking all about your bucket list items today and how can you fund those? Where's the income going to come from? Are there different strategies that you should implement? But before we dive in, Jordan, you were sharing with Adam and I a very important client story. Let's shed some light on that and share it with the viewers at home before we jump into the segment.
Yes, we had a client's plan was to sell a majority of their assets. Fortunately, they had a very large pension that would give forever. And they wanted to take their savings and buy a boat that you could sleep on. And they were going to take both kids, who are now late 20s, so grown adults, husband, wife, and they were going to sail around the world.
Wow. So what happened?
Have you ever seen the movie The National Lampoon's Vacation and Clark Griswold and Wally World? Let's just say that Hawaii was their turnaround point. They were going that way, and they didn't even make it. That's not even halfway around. So sometimes bucket lists, which is the topic of today's show, can blow up in your face. So let's make sure that our bucket lists are realistic.
Realistic, yes.
Yes.
I would say that that's probably a very thing. Plus, the moose told them the park was closed that day.
Yeah. Well, obviously, when people are looking at different strategies to fund their bucket list, we can talk a little bit about savings versus investments versus maybe other income streams. But I'm wondering with savings specifically, Adam, obviously, when the rates are higher, interest rates, the CDs go up in value. What are your thoughts on pulling from savings versus investments to fund?
Well, for the most part, we kind of look at savings as your first line of defense, right? If there is an emergency, savings accounts, the most liquid, or even a CD, the penalty to break a CD is rather small or de minimis.
Minimal, yeah.
So to have that at the ready, you need a new roof, you need a furnace, something like that. Most emergencies that are catastrophic, you have insurance for, right? So if a tornado comes through, thank goodness, as long as no one's hurt, you've got insurance for your house. There's a fire, you got insurance for that. You get in a car accident, you got insurance for that. Even to an extent, your health care. That savings account, CD, that's your first line of defense. You do not want to rely on that as an income stream. My goodness, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think you got, even expanding on that question, is you really have to understand the three different types of buckets of tax.
Okay.
Three different types of accounts, and then what type of tax does that bucket trigger, right? So our popular ones are retirement accounts, the pre-tax dollars. These dollars go in pre-tax, but then how are they taxed on the way out? Do we get capital gains rates on that?
Yes.
No, you don't have. That's ordinary income, that means every penny of dollars you take out of your IRA, 100% of that is income taxable, ordinary income. The next bucket down is what you've talked about here, your what we call after-tax investments or non-qualified. Those we just pay tax on the gain we made. You know, you have that CD and you get that annoying little 1099 INT at the end of the year. Yep. So those have already been taxed and we just pay tax on the growth. And then we've got our last bucket, tax-free. How much do we pay on tax on that?
Zero.
So what is better than free in investing? So we love the Roth IRAs, and that's why we think our income should be coming from Roth IRAs first. And then, like Adam said, only using your emergency savings for other type of things that come up. And we've got this great tool, a free calculator for people.
What?
Yeah, it's called maintaxbill.com, and anyone can go use it and type in just a few pieces of information and get your own personalized tax plan to convert IRAs to Roth. I know it's a very hot topic and very complex, but we took it down to a tool that's very simple.
Yep.
And you can go run as many calculators as you want. We call it a calculator tool. And you put in your age, your amount of pre-tax IRAs, what you think your rate of return will be, and what you think the tax bracket will be. And it'll tell you, should you convert to a Roth or should you keep it as is? And if you keep it as is, how much will that cost you if you lived, I think 95, they calculated out. So I think 100% of people should at least explore the opportunity of a Roth IRA.
Yeah, let's, as an example, somebody would put $1 million in the calculator. Let's say they have a 401k that's worth $1 million, and they want to know exactly how much tax they're going to pay. Let's say they're in their mid-50s. How much tax are they going to pay over the lifetime if they kept it that way versus converting it to a Roth? And it will let you put in that $1 million. It'll let you pick what kind of return. Be safe, maybe a 5% return. What kind of tax bracket? Well, if you could tell us what the future tax bracket is, we need to have you on the show. That would be really nice.
Aren't taxes on sale right now?
They're on sale right now. But so let's just say you pick 30%, and then you pick what was the last thing that there's 4 items. The
age, the amount
age,
of pre-tax. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can extrapolate it out and say, well, at what point in my life would I convert later? At the end of the day, it will show you convert now. 91 out of 100 times it's going to say convert now, especially with tax rates low.
Yes.
So that the risk you run is, okay, what if I wait and convert in 10 years to convert from an IRA to a Roth IRA? We have no idea where taxes are going to be, but mathematics and statistics would say that they're probably going to be higher in 10 years than they are right now. Compliance, don't shoot me. I said probably. But at the end of the day, the tax planning is so imperative to make sure that you have a plan now. And we created that great free tool.
And I love it. Maintaxbill.com. It's so easy to use, and I just love how it's so incredibly user-friendly. So other sources of income, we talked a little bit when we were on commercial break, but annuities. People are using annuities now to fund their bucket list. Adam, what are you seeing in regards to annuity income?
I think annuity is probably one of the best tools in our toolbox that we can use.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Are annuities good or are annuities bad?
Yes.
Exactly.
And the reason
It's
we
true.
say that is there are some really lousy annuities out there, especially variable annuities. My God, if you have a variable annuity, that's an annuity where you see a lot of fees coming out of it and it's going up and down. You need to call us right away. There might be an opportunity for us to get you out of it.
It's like saying all cars are good or all cars are bad. Well,
Yeah.
the right car for the right person makes sense, right? So the original annuity was what they called immediate annuity. And think of that as a pension. You trade in your money and you get a payment forever. But when you pass away, there's nothing left. You
It's
can
true.
pass away 2 days later and it's gone. Then the next annuity that came out was a fixed annuity. Think of that as like a CD.
Yep.
All this is a period of time and an interest rate.
Okay.
No lifetime income whatsoever. 2 totally different annuities, right?
Absolutely.
But they're both annuities, right? Then what Adam talked about when the mutual funds took off in the late 70s and 80s, they created a variable annuity. So now we've got an annuity full of mutual funds that go up and down and up and down. Well, the difference in a variable annuity is the insurance company doesn't get to use your money. The money passes through to these mutual funds. So they have to ding you with fees and what have you. So your account can go up and it can go down. And then most recently, they've created like all industries change and with innovation, the fixed indexed annuity. I look at this as an analogy of being able to stick your toe into the pool. So you can, into the water to see it, you can get upside potential. And if the market goes down, you just take your toe out, you don't lose anything.
Amazing.
So
Okay.
all 4 are annuities, but all 4 are completely different.
Right.
And you know what else is completely different? This report, the RIPT report. Let's talk a little bit about what the RIPT report is and why all of our viewers at home, literally every single viewer at home, needs to get one of these.
Yeah, our offer today is to come in and get your free RIP report. The get ripped, Adam. The big muscles there. So the number one is to make sure that you're taking on the right amount of risk. Risk is how you get growth, but risk is how you lose. So we say driving a car. How fast is your portfolio driving? We'll show you. The I is income. Make sure you have an income plan, not an income guess. How much can your portfolio maximize with income? We'll be able to show you. And the P is what we just talked about, a portfolio evaluation. Put that portfolio on a treadmill, make sure it's healthy. Do you have annuities in there? Let's make sure they're the right kinds and not the ugly ones.
What kind of fees, too?
Oh, what kind of fees? I like how you peeked your head out like that. And then the T is the tax report, which you talked about, our tax calculator. Now is the time, the third lowest tax environment we've had. Taxes are on sale. Come in and see us.
Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much. I can't do the like you do, but to our viewers at home, it's time for you to get ripped. Call in to 888-462-7839. Once again, 888-462-7839. Everyone in the viewing audience deserves the opportunity to get ripped. This is your financial future. These are your retirement dreams. Book those complimentary consultations. And if you're curious about your tax implication, go ahead and visit maintaxbill.com. Once again, it's maintaxbill.com. Put in a little bit of information about yourself, and you could see what your tax implication is today versus if you make some changes down the road. Are you wondering what the right time is for you to splurge in your retirement for the bucket list? We're going to talk about that when we come back.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I am joined today by Jordan Main. He is president of Main Financial Group, as well as Adam Freund, CRC at Main Financial Group. We're talking all about a fun topic today, bucket list, but most importantly, how do you fund your bucket list items without running out of money? But most importantly, when people are entering their retirement years, what is the right time to splurge? Like, how do you know you have that green light to just go for it?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. And really, everybody that comes into our office, everybody's different, right? So what is on that bucket list? What do they want to splurge on? The first thing we always start with is income is the outcome, right?
Oh,
we
like
got to
that
start
one,
with the
yes.
end in mind, meaning we're going to take a look at Social Security. We're going to take a look if you have a pension. We're going to take a look at your investments. Where can we derive that sleeping at night money, right? You know, all your bills are paid, everything is taken care of. You're not sitting at night going, wait a minute, I got a water bill due. Oh my gosh, where am I going to get that money?
Exactly.
Once we get that taken care of, then the fun starts, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And we use this little silly line of paychecks versus play checks.
Oh, I like that.
So guarantee your paycheck with certain things, as he's talked about, Social Security, pensions, guaranteed annuities, things that are going to spit out money to us every month, no matter how long we live.
Okay.
And that'll pay our base bills, our taxes, our insurance, are the things that we need. And then your other accounts we can structure to be play checks. And look at that grin. and the idea is we don't want to have to take money out of an account, an equities-based account that's down to replace income, because now that's reverse dollar cost averaging. There's one for you to look up.
Yep.
And so at the end of the day, if we know we have our base paycheck met, now we can have fun with play checks, and we can start to do these unique trips, give to grandkids, buy second and third homes, whatever it may be. But I think you've got to have that at least two-tier system.
Hey, I'm going to ask a question, and I know this is sort of, it's in the same topic, but we get a lot of people that ask, what's the limit on how much I can give to my kids or grandchildren? And it used to be that just a one-shot answer, but...
Yeah, so you have a gift that you can give every year up to, I don't know what it is this year, about 20,000, a little less, a little more.
Yeah, it was 18 at one time.
Yeah, and then it's
gone up.
Yeah.
But you, at any point, can give your give your estate to your kids right now, and it's not a taxable event outside of the IRAs if you disclose it, and it reduces your future exemption when you do pass away.
Okay.
So every year we have that estate tax exemption that changes. It's gone everywhere from 11, 12, 13 million a person down to zero.
Right.
What was that year George Steinbrenner
George
died?
Steinbrenner died, and his kids didn't have to pay a single penny on anything that was given to them.
Right.
Oh, my.
And then on the flip
Wow.
side, the Miami Dolphin Stadium was famously named as Joe Robbie Stadium.
Yep.
He didn't have an estate plan, and they paid, I think it was about 73%
Yep.
between all the taxes, and they had to, get rid of the naming rights of that stadium. So, there are all kinds of ways to strategize things, but doing nothing is not a plan.
No, it's
Most
a plan
definitely. How often do you see people come into the office where potentially health would be an issue for them to just maybe start their bucket list sooner? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, and we have so many widows, because
Yeah.
mostly men pass away first,
Yep.
that they've saved with their husband, and they learn to live well under their means, and then they retire in an early death.
Yes.
And we have to tell them, take your granddaughter to France. Do the things that you want to do, because this is the healthiest or the best you're going to feel right now. Every year you get older, there's going to be more ailments. But that's a great point, Cynthia, because before you know it, like sand through an hourglass, time goes quickly.
It does.
And I think that first third of retirement is when people really need to start crossing off bucket item lists.
Yes.
And that's more of the go-go years, correct, Adam?
That is correct. I mean, you are never going to be as young as you are today, and you're never going to be as healthy as you are today, hopefully. And that means that if you've got the money, as long as we got all the other bases covered, please go out and do that bucket list, and we'll help you. We will absolutely help you plan that.
Is that a fun call to make when you say,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones, it's time for you to go spend some money?
My favorite part is when they come in, the clients or potential clients come in for this first meeting, and we were asking questions and we're getting to know each other. And I say, well, how much do you think that you can withdraw on an annual basis
Yep.
out of your portfolio and
Yeah.
never run out of money?
Well,
And they-
5,000 a year.
Yeah, they'll give us some number. And I said, okay, when we come back at our next meeting to go over your RIP report, we're going to show you that if you put that pedal to the metal, the most that you could generate, guaranteed, even if you live to be 120. And so 99 out of 100 times when we come back for that second meeting, they're blown away, because the number that their portfolio, when positioned efficiently, can generate so much more income. It's a great feeling to tell them that.
Most definitely. Well, Jordan, thank you for another amazing episode this week. Adam, thank you as well. To the viewers at home, it is time for you to pick up the phone and call in and get ripped. Remember, RIP stands for risk, income, portfolio, and taxes, and we feel that everyone in the viewing audience deserves the opportunity to get ripped. You're calling in for a complimentary consultation today. The number is 1-888-462-7839, 1-888-462-7839, or grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen that takes you right to the landing page of Main Financial Group. You can schedule your time accordingly. Thank you for spending time with us on the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you soon.